Hello.
Today on this special edition of the show, I'm your host, Mr. McClelland.
And we are your guests,
Miranda
and Abby.
I'd like to welcome you all to Senior Spotlights, the podcast where we find outstanding seniors here at Stonebridge and ask about achievements in high school and their goals for after. Now let's shine a light on our Bulldogs. Our spotlight today is actually on the original hosts of this show, Miss Abby White and Miss Miranda Ridgley. And how are we doing today? First question. How are we?
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's actually early, very early in this last A-Day of their senior year. How does it
Oh my
feel
goodness.
with the end of the year coming and approaching as we are?
It doesn't feel real. I honestly,
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't like hit me yet, or I haven't like come to terms with the fact that I'm not coming to school next week. That this
Yeah.
is just like it.
I don't know if it's like a coping thing or what, but it's like, well, like school's almost over, yay. But it's not like, oh, I'm never coming back here again. Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's
Would you count it as like an overall positive feeling or something?
it's very bittersweet.
I
for
literally
me.
can't even tell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm really excited for like the future.
yeah. But like,
but-
I would say that I had like a fairly good high school experience. So it's like, I will miss that. And like, just all the people here, especially because like, just like a really good community, like with the friends I have and whatnot. So
That actually is the subject of the first question. You guys didn't actually look at this before, but
no.
you hit the nail right on the head. What would you count as kind of like the greatest benefit from being at Stonebridge? Like when you're out of school and you are wherever you plan to be, what do you think you will be most grateful for when it comes to like your overall experience the last 4 years?
I think I grew a lot as a person. I think I was given a lot of opportunities to like work on my own and to help myself and like in leadership positions and in other things like that, where I was really able to just develop as like who I am so that I will have those skills for the future. I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing that's going to be helpful for me, is that I've become very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So you're going to look back on like the opportunities
Yeah.
that you had. Okay.
I think, yeah, because I feel like even compared to some other schools, I feel like a lot of our stuff is student driven. So that just, like Abby said, like it helps us get a lot of leadership experience, and also just like we're able to connect with a lot of people, really, like no matter what you're interested in, like you can find like different ways to get involved in a lot. And I also think that like we have a lot of really good teachers that care about like teaching and mentoring, and I think that's really evident in like just like day-to-day classes and whatnot. And like I think that's helped me like be more passionate in like what I'm interested in, is like seeing like the teachers.
Okay. So kind of like investing in your
Yeah.
interests and how those play out over the course of a couple years.
Yeah.
That was the next question actually was you guys were involved in several very public facing classes and different assignments at this school, from things like our improv club,
Yes.
the Sunshine Squad, to theater, to the news show, to interviewing people for newspaper, Abby performing with gymnastics and stuff like that. What would you say to students who are maybe on the fence or curious about trying different electives or extracurricular activities that the school has to offer, especially the ones that are really like out there and in the spotlight?
I would say do it.
Yeah.
I think it is definitely worth the experience. And there's no harm in trying. If you try something out for a little bit and you don't end up liking it, we're in high school. It's not like you're like committing to a full-time career. It's you're trying things out. You're trying to see what you like. And doing all of that, I feel like I can kind of speak for both of us. We've met some like very great people, and we know a lot of people from like different areas of the school, where if we had just stuck to one certain aspect or one certain like extracurricular, we wouldn't have been able to meet the people that we know or just have that kind of outreach that we have now.
Yeah, it's definitely really eye-opening just seeing like all these different people like getting involved in a bunch of different stuff. And like I know, like just take global ambassadors for example, like I got to meet people from other countries and they came here, and like I got to build connections with them and whatnot, and like I'm still friends with them now. So it's like it's insane the amount of things and opportunities that you have here that like sometimes people don't know exist, but it's like they're out there, and if you just go like and give it a shot, you can lead to really great things.
Yeah. I also feel like people are so scared of being embarrassed in high school and like thinking that everything they do like is so
High
embarrassing
school.
and that people are going to judge them.
It's going to follow you the rest of your
But literally no one cares. Everyone is so
Yes.
wrapped up in their own lives that you could be doing anything and no one is going to bat an eye. Like
Exactly.
I always say this I say it's not embarrassing unless you become embarrassed. And so just like do what you want to do and have fun, and no one is going to care.
Yeah, like I don't understand, like if you enjoy doing it, like just do it. Why do you care about what other people think about the thing that you love? Like that shouldn't be stopping you from doing what you want. And I think that's, once I realized that, like my freshman or sophomore year, it made a lot of things easier and more enjoyable for me. And I think that it was definitely the right decision.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this, but I think that in psychology that's called like the spotlight effect, where you think everybody's watching you, but in reality nobody really is.
Yeah.
Probably. I didn't take psychology, so I don't know.
This one's kind of on the spot, but are there any like funny stories of when you think something didn't go well for you, but it ended up being okay in the end? Like something that you would say objectively was kind of a mistake, but you learned from it and went better from it in your extracurriculars.
Oh, I don't know.
Susical opening night. Last year we did a class musical. It was like the first time I think we had ever done a full scale musical in class. It was a junior musical.
Yeah, but like it was still like a show.
We were not prepared at all. And we had our Thursday night show, and it was very evident. Complete songs were like skipped over, where people were just standing on stage, not singing anything. And there was like, we did tracks, so there was no live band that could cover that up. It was just,
But like it was at the point where it's like, you know, when something just goes so awful, like all you can do is like laugh at it. Like it reached a point. Yeah. Like it reached a point where I was like backstage, because I assistant directed this. Like I was backstage watching everything, and like I knew everything that was happening because I knew the show. But it's like reached like a halfway point, and I'm like, this is just hilarious. Like I just like, I can't even be mad at this anymore, just because it was, the amount of things that happened is almost just like surreal. It just like past the point of being mad.
The set was broken. Our ball pit spilled everywhere.
Everything.
After the show, we walk up to the board. It had completely blown out halfway through the show.
Yeah.
Our director was like in tears from laughter.
Yeah. And then Friday night was perfect.
Friday night was wonderful, and it was just, we just pushed through it, and honestly,
we didn't let us
did another show, and it was fine.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're introducing the concept of a ball pit, you're just kind of there for anything that could possibly.
Well, yeah.
Specifically, Aiden broke in a ball pit.
Jumped into the ball pit, kicked it over, and spilled it across the whole entire
during the
stage
finale of the show.
Yeah.
Not naming any names, but
Name drop.
Another one of our Tribune TV members, Aiden broke.
We actually
we did an interview on him.
Yeah, go check it out.
Yes.
So the next question was actually a little bit involved with Running Dog Productions. Our program here is very strong, and a lot of people are very familiar with the success that we have with our performing arts. But what do you think might be a misconception or a little known fact about the theater program that you think people should more properly understand? Like, what's kind of your pitch for getting
I feel like people just think we're really weird, and honestly,
sometimes
so is everyone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what that like big stigma is. Like, oh, theater kids are really weird. Okay, like so are you. It's just in different ways, and we're just more like okay with being who we actually are. I feel like
like we just have fun with it.
Yeah, we just enjoy having fun and genuinely enjoy the people that we're being around. It's a very fun activity. You really just get to go out there and.
Yeah, I have very few negative experiences with that department in my 4 years. I think it's, especially compared to like some other schools or like community places, I think we've been very fortunate with the community that's been created, and just like all the shows we've done. I just think that it's just kind of like, again, kind of like what we said earlier, like don't let like being scared stop you from like going and achieving things. Because I know I was really scared when I first did it, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna power through, because it's like, again, no one cares, and people like to see people succeed. And I think people forget that sometimes. Like usually people aren't banking on someone's failure, so it's like, it's so satisfying like when you do something right and you're proud of it, and then you have those that are supporting you all around you. And I think that theater really provides that community.
Yeah. And also we had like friends who joined last year who were seniors at the time who graduated, and that was they had only ever done one show with us. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they said, like going to college, is that their biggest regret was not joining sooner, is that they wish they had, because just of the community of the people and just how much of an outlet it is. It's really, I think it's my biggest outlet, because you get to step out of everything that's in your actual life, and you just get to like enjoy doing something else.
And no one there's going to judge you. Like it's
no
theater. No one's going to judge you for anything that's happening in your life or like what you've done.
Nothing will be judged.
So basically, no matter what stage of the game you're at in high school, if you're thinking about it, you want a welcoming place, you want some place that's going to be fun and funny. Obviously that's kind of what you guys are going towards most. And it kind of gives you an escape. That's what you would say for joining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of joining things, you have also been an ambassador for the journalism program these last 2 years. In many ways, whether it was newspaper class or broadcast class, what do you think is important about our journalism programs here? And what do you think participating in this program has added to your life or academic career?
I think kind of like we said earlier about like with the extracurriculars and being able to reach out with everyone, I think that the journalism classes are the best class to do that in, because I think they do a great job of featuring all aspects of the school. Like I think especially with newspaper, we're constantly writing articles and whatnot, trying to feature our students. And so I think that's like, I just think it's a really admirable thing about our journalism program is the fact that like we go out of our way. Like we go out and we find people in our school to feature and like, again, like I said, support, and just congratulate on like whatever it is. And then that way people can learn about more of what's happening in our school with like extracurriculars and all that. And I just think it's been really great for me too, just be able to like connect on a bunch of different topics with different people as I'm like interviewing them or filming them or something.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The outreach that we have just amongst like every single group in the school is just, it's a very different experience than you would get anywhere else, because I don't know, not just because we have like passes where we get to go everywhere and like we have that like
Literal passes.
we have permission to like go and do things like that, but it's also people enjoy talking about themselves. I know that sounds like so terrible, but when you give someone the opportunity to like talk about something they love doing, they're gonna want to, and then you get to learn about that, which is really fun. And I also think it's made me more confident where like now I'm able to go and talk to people that I have never spoken to before, because I've just become so accustomed to it.
Yes.
Where like I'm meeting new people all the time and it's not something that I'm super stressed about, which was definitely something that I struggled with before, where I wasn't able to go up and like talk to people, and now I feel like I can.
Yeah, it definitely gives you an excuse to talk to anybody, right?
Yes.
Like if you're nervous or anxious about like connecting with other people, it doesn't sound weird if you're like, hey, I'm here on behalf of the Tribune, I'm here on behalf of Tribune TV, whether that's a newspaper or broadcast. Then people are like, oh, okay, like I understand why you're talking to me now. Like it's not like, what are you doing here? What is this interaction we're about to have? It kind of gives you like a reason to start talking to them, and then that breaks down kind of that first wall of like what's going on here to, oh, okay, yeah, let's talk.
I also think that like it kind of creates a fun little community, because I know with like on the street and whatnot, like whenever we interview people, like first off they they love doing it just because it's fun, but also like they get to see themselves on the news show and whatnot, and it's like you get to be like, oh, I was a part of that, and something for the whole school to see.
So on the topic of connections, coming towards the end of our recording here, obviously you guys have been very close friends throughout high school for a long time.
Yes.
And have worked together on many different tasks and many different environments. For those coming into high school, what would you say is kind of the key to finding friends or keeping in touch and sticking with your friends for a long time? What have you guys done that you think has helped you, I don't know, just invest in your friendship with each other?
I mean, I think we got very lucky.
Yes.
Because we met in 6th grade, and we have just been friends ever since. We got a lot closer in high school.
Yeah. I think specifically sophomore year,
year,
because we had AP Human Geo together.
Human Geo, and we became very close. But I think the most important thing with friendships is, this is something I've kind of had to learn, that you have to be very realistic with yourself on who is and who isn't looking out for your best interest, and who really is not going to benefit you in life, or if someone is making you feel like, if someone isn't treating you like a friend, you don't need to keep them as a friend. And that's a very hard and scary thing to do, is to like stop being friends with someone, even if you've been friends with them for so long. But it comes like, at the end of the day, it does come down to, is this person making a positive impact on your life? And if they're not, then they don't need to stay in your life, and you don't need to be evil to them, and you don't need to like create problems. But there is never there's never a time where you should be staying friends with someone who isn't treating you the way a friend should be treating you. And I think that's something that we've all kind of had to learn throughout high school.
Yeah. And I think that, like, again, like Abby said, I think we're really lucky, but also we have a lot of similar interests which like I think helps a lot, because I think, again, when you are surrounded by people that have the same passions that you, that have the same drive as you, it's much easier to connect and get closer with those people. And I think, again, like, we met through theater, like 6th grade. So it's like we've always had that connecting us, kind of. So we both have that drive. And I think that we've always just been extremely genuine with each other as well. And I think that's helped, that we've never tried to change ourselves to fit the other, if that makes sense. Like, I've never had to worry about, like, I've never had to question my friendship with Abby, like, since sophomore year, like, at least. And I think it's just very comforting knowing that you have someone there like that. And it's just, like, also, like, understanding that, like, friendship, sometimes it doesn't have to be constantly, like, involved. Like, I think some of the people that I know that are, like, the best friends, like, they're the people that you can go, like, days, months, or, like, weeks or months without talking to, and, like, but when you connect again, it's like nothing's ever changed. Like, just understanding that, like, we will always have that friendship and nothing will change, and it's just having the confidence in each other. I think that really, like, it shows.
Kind of being able to accept it for what it is rather than continually trying to build it up. It's like, no, we're at a good place.
Yeah.
We're friends. We can make this last. Well, this, I guess, will kind of be your space here. If there's anything else you would like to share about your high school experience, any last words you have for underclassmen or rising seniors, or any just last second reflections, is there anything else you feel like?
I know this is so cheesy, but just enjoy it. Because, like, I think I've realized that a lot this year is, like, don't stress yourself out with anything. Just, like, do what you enjoy. Don't take things too seriously sometimes. And, like, again, find that group of people that, like, you feel like you can be yourself in. And,
Yeah, I agree. Just
don't be scared to try new things.
I think that's my biggest thing, is try new things. You won't regret trying something new.
No.
That's it.
And if you will, it was a one-time thing, and you're fine.
One-time thing, and it won't be that big of a deal.
I think I've heard of more people regretting not trying something than regretting trying something.
And also, not everything is embarrassing.
Exactly.
People get so embarrassed in high school.
Okay.
And I, like, that's something I've recently, like, come about, where I'm like, I don't need to be embarrassed, where I used to get so embarrassed at literally everything. And I'm like, I just don't care. Like
people here don't
you should
care.
matter your own opinion. That's it.
When you get older, you're not going to remember that stuff anymore.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just don't even worry about it.
So, yeah.
Okay. Let's do the sign off one last time.
That's all we have for you guys today.
Make sure you keep up with Senior Spotlight next year as the Tribune continues to highlight the stories of our seniors.
We'll shine a light on you later, Bulldogs.